At Astroworld event, members of a densely packed crowd surged toward the stage and were smashed against each other, leading to several citizens losing their lives. But what actually happened? In today's video, we'll take a look at what transpired at the Astroworld event and what the concert survivors disclosed. But before we continue, if you're new to our channel, please like, share, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get started. People attend events to spend quality time with their favorite rapper or musician. But imagine paying to attend an event and then being severely harmed or perhaps dying as a result of it. Worst of all, this isn't the first time something similar has occurred during one of Travis's concerts. Travis didn't seem to learn his lesson because he was arrested and charged in 2017 for inciting a riot at a concert in Manhattan, where he encouraged people to run on stage in a packed concert venue, injuring 2 people, one of whom was severely injured. His name is Kyle Green, and he was forced over a railing by the crowd, resulting in several broken bones, including 1 vertebra, and he had to use a wheelchair for a while. And that's why Kyle decided to launch a lawsuit against Travis, his management, and the event organizers after getting hurt during the concert. When the matter went to court, Travis's lawyers claimed that Kyle's injuries were caused by risks he deliberately took. Kyle is still partially paralyzed, and the injuries he sustained during the event have a significant impact on his ability to move about and work. One might assume that a lawsuit and a guy who was permanently harmed would be enough for Travis and his crew to ensure that the settings in which they provide entertainment are safe. But the tragedy that occurred at a recent event proves otherwise. Given that this isn't the first time Travis has put his audience in danger, it's easy to see why people are so upset with him. Witnesses and survivors are now speaking out about what happened at the event, pointing out everything that went wrong and seeking justice for the 8 people who tragically died and the hundreds who were injured. Their accounts are both frightening and infuriating. The real question is, what happened at the event that led to all of this? At least 50,000 people attended Travis Scott's Astroworld in Houston on November 5, 2021. The event was sold out and the venue was congested from the start. According to authorities and concert goers, there were signs of potential crowd control issues earlier in the day, with some attempting to jump barriers to get access to the festival without tickets or even forcing their way into the VIP section. This demonstrates that if the event organizers and authorities had been competent, the concert would have been shut down as soon as the problem arose. Unfortunately, they didn't, and what appeared to be another packed and badly handled festival turned into a living hell at night. So what happened on that particular day? According to witnesses, the nightmare began when the 30-minute timer on the stage reached 0, signaling that Travis Scott would begin his performance. As soon as that happened, people from the back began pushing their way to the front in an attempt to get as close to the stage as possible, although it was 9 p.m. As you might imagine, resisting such a large crowd is impossible, and people were crushed against each other. People were having difficulties breathing, feeling their ribs being crushed, and being unable to move an inch even before the music began. According to authorities, the first complaint occurred at 9:30 a.m. Witnesses claimed that at 9:11, only minutes after the event began, people in the area closest to the stage were already attempting to flee. There was no escape but to walk with the mob or fall to the ground and be stepped on, according to some who were there. It was extremely hot and people couldn't move their arms, let alone try to move a step to the side. Jordan Bryan, a concert survivor, claimed that he couldn't breathe and was trying to reach as high as he could to get some fresh air. Some reporters claimed that a few people who fainted were crowd surfed out to get them out of the way, and this was only the beginning. Imagine being stuck in the middle of a crowd of thousands, unable to move or breathe. You see people fainting around you, and yet you can hear people behind you yelling push, still trying to get closer to the stage. An ambulance started traveling in the middle of the ground to provide aid about 9:30 p.m., when people were already crying for help and requesting for the event to be stopped. Travis instructed the audience to make room for the vehicle and then continue singing. We believe Travis should have not taken the need for an ambulance lightly and should have heeded the warning to halt before things worsened. The ambulance came and went and people were still being pushed around. Shortly after the ambulance arrived, a woman managed to gain access to the portion of the stage where the cameras were, and she asked the staff to notify Travis that people in the audience were being injured. She wasn't the only one who felt this way. Many people were crying for help, according to survivors, but they couldn't be heard because of the music. Many of them attempted to use the time between songs to yell that the concert should be stopped, but no one listened, and the show continued. By 9:30, two more horrific events had occurred. First, someone in the audience injected a security guard with an unknown substance, causing him to collapse. Second, numerous additional audience members had collapsed due to asphyxia, requiring CPR. Many had described it as a demonic scenario, and it certainly sounds like one. In the meantime, Travis continued to perform, pausing briefly at 9:42 to beg for aid after noticing that someone had passed out, but then continuing to sing above the cries of the crowd to halt the show. Listening to everyone begging for the concert to stop and getting a glimmer of optimism when the music stopped only to lose it when a new song began at 10:10 p.m. 1 hour after people began to be heard and 40 minutes after the first formal report was filed, the show finally came to an end. Everything that transpired raises a lot of issues, such as why the security officers did not aid the concert goers as they began fainting and being crushed. Why wasn't the PA system utilized to quiet the crowds and communicate safety procedures? And why didn't Travis just call it a night earlier? Travis revealed why he didn't halt the show in an Instagram video after the show, stating he didn't realize the gravity of the situation while on stage. Other folks, on the other hand, appear to feel that Travis was completely aware of everything that was going on and simply didn't care. Being part of an occurrence like this can leave a lasting impression on a person. Many individuals have been traumatized by what happened in Astroworld and what they witnessed there. They're also surprised that the organizers didn't do enough to assist the artists. Witnesses say they were surrounded by bodies suffocating, begging for oxygen, and shouting at the top of their voices. They also recall being unable to move and being confident that they would not make it out alive. One of the survivors fell at the start of the concert, and 6 or 7 people piled on top of her, smothering her and shattering her legs. When she finally made it out the venue, her knee was in a way, and she observed people falling left and right as she tried to find a place where she could seek medical care. According to her, there were a staggering number of people in need of medical assistance. All of this demonstrates how carelessly everything was organized. In a large concert like this one, there should have been enough safety measures in place to ensure that this did not occur, as well as staff with necessary skills to manage a situation like this and enough medical attention to assist all of the injured people. Above all, what enrages people the most is that their hero did not materialize to assist them. It's awful to think that these people came to see Travis because they admire and support him, but he didn't care enough to use the stage and his microphone to try to calm things down. The Astroworld catastrophe claimed the lives of 8 individuals, the youngest one of whom was only 14 years old. Hundreds of people were injured and 25 of them had to be hospitalized, the youngest of whom was just 10 years old. Do you believe Travis and the concert organizers can be held liable now that you know what happened? Will this be the last time Travis puts his followers' lives in jeopardy? Comment below, let's engage. Also, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell for more amazing celebrity videos. Goodbye, friends. See you in the next video.